Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Well, it is finally here. My R33 Gtr is in its parking spot where it's going to live. For those of you that have been following the channel, you know that I bought this car from England back in January and went through the whole importation process myself. And you know what a bit of a headache that was, but you know what, I think it's worth it because the car is here. It looks amazing. However, for those of you that did not see the video when I picked up the car from Port Hueneme, I'll put a banner above my head as well as a link to it in the description down below, because in that video I found some things with this car that the previous owner did that really aren't too good. He's made some mods I'm not a fan of, and the car definitely has some issues, like there's a whole bunch of wires in the passenger floorboard and there's a giant screen on the dash. So there's some things I kind of want to address, just kind of clean the car up. Also, this car was flagged for an intense inspection by US Customs, which means they took it apart and put it back together, and they didn't put it together properly. There's some running issues and some various other issues with the car that I want to kind of find and fix so I can actually drive and enjoy it. Finally, I do have an appointment to take this car to Sebastian at Specialty Z. Specialty Z is a shop here in Southern California where Sebastian, the owner, is just a GTR guru. The guy is absolutely amazing with any Skyline or GTR. I took my R32 GTR to him, I've taken my R35 GTR to him, and I will be taking this to him because he's basically going to give the car a full once-over and let me know if there's any issues that I haven't found that need to be addressed before I really start driving and enjoying. And of course, I have finished submitting all the paperwork to make this car road legal, so I'm just waiting on my tags to really be able to drive and enjoy the car. So that's what we're going to be going through in this video. It's probably going to take the course of about a week or so, so if you see my clothes change, my hair change, my face change, it's just simply because this is all going to be happening over the course of a week or two, so there's going to be a lot happening. However, two things before we get started. One, if you do want to see more automotive, particularly GTR and S14 content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And two, if you'd like to support the channel, I do have the JD Archer shop. If you go to jdarcher.bigcartel.com, you'll see a limited selection of t-shirts I've designed that are for sale. But with that out of the way, start digging into the R33. First things first, as you can see, I am in the cabin of the car because the first thing I gotta take care of is this big ass screen attached to the dash. I mean, it's just ugly, it's an eyesore. It eats up so much of my dash. It doesn't even turn on or work as far as I can tell, so I have no idea what it does. And I'm worried that over time it'll damage the vent that it's currently attached to. So number one on the agenda is getting that thing out of here. Now you might also notice, you might be hearing the car is currently idling. The reason why is I figure it might be a good idea just kind of fire up the car about once a week. You know, let the oil cycle, the fuel, and of course charge the battery. It seems like there might be a drain somewhere. I don't know where. It's very slow, but you know, it's good to just kind of charge up the battery. As you know, I've got a ton of wires sitting in the footwell. So let's start with getting rid of this screen, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the smoke test. To start off with, it looks like there's a couple of Allen heads just kind of holding this covering on right here. So let's see if I have an Allen that's the right size. Looks pretty small. We're gonna start with a 3. Oh wow, that's smaller than that. All right. Go ahead and try for this one. Oh, looks like we have a winner, and that broke loose nice and easy. So apparently all the weight is on this front piece here. I thought it was going to be those two clips there. Wow, this sucker is heavy. I mean, not like ridiculous, but it's more pressure than I would have wanted on my dash. Alright, now it looks like it's just, unfortunately I'm not quite sure how these are attached to the back side. So I guess we'll just back these completely off and hope they don't fall all the way through. There we go. Already so much better. And then fortunately, I mean, we got the cable going through here. I'll take care of that in a little bit, but it looks like that just connects like that. And I'd much rather have that little cable sitting there than this entire thing on my dash.
already looks so much better. All right, let's get to the smoke test.
Unfortunately, where we're going to be working, the hood prop is just right there. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a smoke test, which we're going to be working right here. Now it's really cool. It looks like this HKS system's got some brackets that it bolts to, so it's nice and secure. I don't particularly want to run the smoke through the MAFs because they're kind of sensitive like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off of their mounts and then unloosen this here, and that should pretty much allow me access to pump the smoke through the system to see if we see any leaks.
All right, and so this is the system we're going to be using to test for any leaks. We're going to look for smoke. I believe the name of this one, there it is, Ventus. This is a great little system. It's a little smoke tester. You basically fill it up, put a little hose in there. We're going to cap that off. We're going to go and pressurize the system with smoke to see if we're seeing the leaks.
Now the cool thing is they give you all these different cups, so you can find the one that works best for your situation. I think that looks like the winner.
All right, so I don't know if I was recording or not, but I was starting to get smoke out of this intake. So I'm gonna have to take it off and block it off so that we can make sure we pressurize the system. Other than that, I haven't seen any smoke leaks yet. It's minimal.
So update time. I was fiddling around with this intercooler pipe because I thought I was seeing a lot of smoke come from there, and I got it as flush and tight as I could without stressing about damaging anything. And then while looking around, I found this hose right here. And it's supposed to be attached to something, and it is not. So I am now 99% sure that's what the problem is. So I just need to figure out where this hose goes to, or even where it's from. So yeah, that's customs for you. I just have no idea where that hose is supposed to go. We got both these here.
It's holding somewhat into the intake part, so it's not immediately connected to the idler control valve, but it is definitely something. So once I can figure out where that hose goes, I'm pretty sure I will fix my running issues. Thank you.
A little bit of an update. Found out where that hose went. So I went inside, got on the computer, and I found the hosing diagram for the RB26. And there's a lot of hoses underneath there because the AIC is underneath the intake plenum. if I ever meet the guy who decided to do that, I will definitely be punching him in the face, because it makes taking the intake off just such a pain in the ass and putting it back on, because you have to do it all blind and there's hoses. Horrible design, but fortunately we were able to figure out where that hose went that was just dangling there, and it actually went to the differential vent. So there's a little port on the top of the front differential that basically allows it to keep from over pressurizing under use. So I was able to find that nipple and hook it back up. It was a little bit difficult to see because with all the hoses and the wiring harness there, you really can't see unless you push everything out of the way. And of course, there it was. Hook the hose up, move the clamp into the proper place, so that's all hooked up. That is one major vacuum leak that is now fixed. It didn't show up in the smoke test though, because really there's no smoke going, or there's no pressure going to it. It still does go into the intake, so it was a vacuum leak, but not such that when I pressurized it with smoke, I would see it a lot. So, but at least that's fixed. Hopefully that fixed the running issue I had when I took the car to the car wash. There is still one leak though. When we run the smoke test, the upper intercooler pipe, where it makes contact with the body, I'm still getting smoke there. I actually tightened the clamps, didn't fix it. I took the whole hose off and inspected it for cracks and splits. Seems like it's fine, put it back on, tightened everything up, still smoking. So what that leads me to believe is the leak is actually on the other side of the fender. And I think the only way to get to that is to take the front bumper off. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna have time for that, because on Monday, which is about 2 or 3 days away from today, this car is gonna go to Specialty Z for Sebastian to give it a full look over and do the tune on the Apexi so I can run 91 octane safely, because the car is tuned for 98. So that's currently what's going on right now. I think that means I'm done in the engine bay for the moment and time to move on to the next project. The next thing I'm gonna be doing to this car is a little bit fun, because it's gonna be my first mod I'm doing to this car for myself. So far this video has been about basically fixing things that Customs did wrong to the car or didn't do right. You know, basically cleaning it up, getting the car to where I like it, which is a good, clean, solid running platform before I start doing any modifications. But this modification I couldn't quite wait to do. So as you know, I currently have this red aluminum shift knob on the car. It came with the car, and I guess it's all right. It's a little bit high, and it's kind of this coppery red color, which I guess goes with the theme of the car being red. But it's not my favorite thing. And then on top of that, I live in Southern California, where, as you know, we get to about 110, 120 degrees on occasion, and having an aluminum shift knob means that I would absolutely cook my hand while trying to drive this car. So I ordered up a different shift knob. Now, this shift knob I'm really excited about, because I had it in my R32 GTR and I absolutely loved it. This is the Nismo Duracon shift knob, and I just think it's a great shift knob. It's the perfect size. It is a kind of a ball-shaped shift knob, so it fits in the palm of your hand real nice for grip. It's also made of nylon, not metal, which means as it gets stupidly hot here, I don't have to worry about cooking my hand as much. So like I said, I had this on my R32 GTR, absolutely loved it, so I had to go out and find it for my R33. So we're gonna go ahead and install that right now. Jeez. Okay, so whoever installed this shift knob, it does not want to turn. I'm not saying a set screw, it's just really freaking on there. Okay, so I don't know if the person who installed this just tightened the hell out of it, or they put some epoxy in there or super glue or what, but this sucker's not turning, so I'm gonna use a bit of a gentle persuader. I picked up a rag here to try and protect it a little bit. I did look up this shift knob to make sure it wasn't anything special or expensive. It looks like the brand is Lonza. They're about $45, but still, you know, if I can protect it, might as well. Oh. Well, the towel didn't work. It kind of shredded through it. I've damaged the shift knob. Ah well, might as well just get a good grip on it. Jeez. Don't worry, I'm just about as worried as you that I'm damaging the shift bushing, but I really don't see another way to get this thing off. Damn, what did he do? There it goes. It moves a little bit. Seriously, what the hell? Guess that's the curse of buying somebody else's car. You never know what they did to it. All right, so I turned off the camera for a little while. I'm sure you didn't want to see me struggle with that for the last 10-15 minutes. I've never developed a sweat before just taking off a shift handle. Oh, but it looks like maybe we finally, what the hell? Look at that, it's just normal shift. Damn, this sucker's got some heft to it, but I don't know what this guy did. It's like the Hulk or something to tighten this thing, but it did not want to come off. All these metal shavings around here. Threads look like they're okay. I've got to admit, I am a little worried about my shifter bushing after that, but it seems like everything's okay, aside from the ton of freaking aluminum shavings around my shift boot. Okay, well, time for the fun part, the Duracon shift knob. That feels nice and solid. All right. Whew. It's nice, it sits a lot lower than this one did. So this one would sit up about that high, if actually not even a little bit higher. I always felt like it sat just a little too high. I think I had it like up to there when I did the test. When I first bought the car, I'm like, God, that sits a little high, and it felt like it sat about this high. So this one sits a lot lower. A lot more comfortable in the hand. Yeah, that's a good move. All right, first mod done. I do plan on using this Nismo shift pattern sticker that came with the shift knob, but this piece here is going to be replaced with the one that allows me to move my AC controller down to here. That way I can get a true double din. So I'll be saving that sticker for when I get the new shift panel installed. Another small fix to do while we're here and we're working on the interior anyways, is I noticed that Customs did not put the screws back here that hold the door card on. Fortunately, I did find them. Finally, they were in the ashtray. So we'll go ahead and fix that little thing right there. That way this door card is actually secure on the car. All right, nice and solid. One more thing fixed. A few more things to go. All right, here we are. We're at Specialty Z. They're done with it. I'm finally taking possession of the car. While they were working on it, my tags came in. So this is really going to be my first real drive with the R33 Gtr. So we'll see how it compares to the R32. So as per typical California, in traffic, currently doing about, looks like 25 kilometers per hour. So that's how slow we're going. But so far, car drives pretty well. It's really nice to be back into a manual, getting back into the right-hand drives like riding a bike. So far it's pretty good. Has more acceleration than I remember, so that's kind of encouraging. I am hearing almost like it sounds like a blow-off valve from when I shift, but it's got stock blow-off valve, so it really shouldn't be doing that. I'll have to take a look into that. But other than that, car seems to be running pretty good. Steering wheel's a little off. Alignment's definitely on the agenda. So, but yeah, first time actually doing a decent drive with the R33.
bit of another update. So I'm currently reading 80 kilometers per hour on my speedometer, but according to my phone, I'm doing 72, which means this speedometer is not correct, because at 80 kilometers per hour, I should be at about 48 miles an hour. So that's interesting. This year it's reading 70 miles per hour on my phone, but I'm seeing about 75 on the speedometer. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out my speedometer. It's the next day and I'm currently at Firestone Tires. I'm working on getting a lifetime alignment on the R33 Gtr. Now I know some people, they don't particularly care for Firestone, they don't really trust them, but for me, they're close by, and that whole lifetime alignment thing is kind of a cool deal. Especially because I'm getting the car aligned right now, because the alignment's pretty bad on it. When I was driving it yesterday, the steering wheel was kind of pointed to the right, the car was drifting to the left, and it's not very fun to drive when you're fighting the car constantly, plus it destroys your tires. So I wanted to get the car aligned pretty quick. However, I know I'm going to be aligning it again fairly soon, because whoever had the car before me, the suspension heights on the tan coilovers are different on all four wheels, so it's not very uniform. I've ordered up the wrenches. Once they get here, I will get it set up so that they are proper and they're the same all the way around, in which case I'm going to have to align the car again. So why pay for it twice when you can pay for it once and do it as many times as you want? So that's why I'm at Firestone today. I've also taken the time to order up some parts based on the recommendations of Specialty Z. First thing being is I ordered up a brand new transmission mount. Apparently the one that's on there is just completely collapsed and dead, so I ordered up a new one. I thought about getting a Nismo, but went with the stock one because they're not terribly expensive, and for right now I'd much rather save the money and put it towards other parts that might be needed, and then upgrade if I needed to, because those Nismo transmission mounts, very easy to get. I also got a solid shifter bushing because, you know, I was reefing on the shift knob, that red one. I don't know if I did any damage to the stock plastic one, so I figured, you know, just order a new one and might as well get a solid one so I get some nice solid shifts. Finally, I also ordered up the filter material for the HKS mushroom filters. For those of you that don't know, those mushroom filters over time, basically the foam just starts to degrade and gets sucked into the turbos, creates a whole issue. So just in abundance of caution, I ordered up a brand new filter material so I can swap that out and I don't have to worry about it. And then I also ordered up new gaskets for the stock blow-off valves. So Specialty Z did a slight smoke test on the car, and apparently that's a very bad leak right there at the blow-off valve. So I ordered up the gaskets. We'll go ahead and swap those out, do another smoke test, see if that fixes it. If not, something we might have to look into. But that's currently what I'm working on today.
And there it is, the first bit of work done on the R33 Gtr. We have now taken steps to make this car a nice, reliable driving car that'll be a good platform for future modifications. Plus, it's also nice to know that this car got a clean bill of health from a guy who knows these cars just inside and out, bumper to bumper. So it gives a lot of confidence that we made a good buy and are gonna have a lot of fun with this car. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go hit that thumbs up button to let me know. It does help the channel out a lot. As I did say at the beginning of the video, if you'd like to see more automotive, particularly GTR and S14 content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on all forms of social media, which include Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. There'll be links for all those in the description down below. Now, after watching this video, if you have any questions about the car, how things work, some of the work we've done, plans for the future, go and post in the comment section down below. I will respond to you. I thank you all for watching, and until next time, forget everything else, focus on the finish line.